Hello everybody, thank you for stopping by. I wanted to kind of pick up a little bit where we left off last time when I was talking about the heart. And I was talking about that heart space of ours that as we allow ourselves to expand and say yes to life, then life shows up for us. And it's an amazing phenomenon, it really is. And I'm gonna share another one of my wonderful Nick stories with you that sort of speaks to this issue. About 20 years ago, Nick had said something to me. He said, you know, Loni, you need to go to ceremony. And when you go to ceremony and you pray for the truth of your life, you will see it. Now, mind you, I had no idea what in the heck the man was talking about. Had no clue. However, I go to ceremony. It was an amazing, beautiful experience for me, earth-shattering, definitely rocked my world. And when I came back from that really opening of my heart, the things that were around the peripheral of my life as well as right in the center of it that I was ignoring expanded. And I was able to really see the truth of my life. And that's not always easy to do. It's not always pleasant because really what's oftentimes in our way is the way. And that's an opportunity for us to walk through the struggles of our personal life, whatever is trying to get our attention, to tell us to go this way or stay here, don't move, just keep things status quo. And really what the universe was inviting me to do was absolutely shake it up. And during that shaking it up, it really opened up my heart space. It allowed me to live from a place of authenticity, a place of honesty, rigorous honesty. I had to be rigorously honest with the truth of my life. And as I looked over my life, I could see the places that I had continued to sweep things under the rug, I had ignored, I had had magical thinking, oh, it'll get better, this, that, and the other. And the reality of it was, it needed to go. It had come to fruition. It had maximized its full potential, and it was time for me to move on. So with that, it opened up my heart space, and it allowed me to really begin to live in the present moment, because there was no magical thinking, oh, if I do this, then this will happen, this will get better, if I just do more of this. All of that went by the wayside because it was forcing me to live in truth. And I don't know what the truth for tomorrow is going to be. I only know what this moment is. So it forced me to be honest with myself. And with that, in knowing that the challenge was to be honest with myself, a lot of things that were in my life that weren't honest had to go. And oftentimes that's hard because it's loss. And when you're experiencing loss, it's not always fun because, like I had said earlier, oftentimes what's in the way is the way. And again, you know, being in ceremony with Uncle Nick, I learned very early on that because things are challenging doesn't mean that there's anything wrong. It means that I need to pay attention and be able to walk through that with rigorous honesty. And letting go of things isn't always easiest. Oftentimes, the things that are right before us that need to be removed are the biggest challenges, and at the same time very necessary. So what's often in the way is the way, and that's a really interesting concept when you think about it, because in our culture, we resist. We resist feeling uncomfortable. We resist problems. We resist, resist, resist. And actually, what I've learned in walking this path is that to lean into the suffering, to lean into the struggle, to lean into it, and not in some martyrdom, but actually in a way of it's attempting to get my attention. So what is this? What is this that I'm needing to pay attention to? Why does this lesson continue to circle back around? What is it that I am holding on to that maybe needs to be set by the wayside? So I have learned in the course of my, at least the past 20 years, not to run from it and to pay attention, because in reality, the only thing that we really have in life is things that try to grab our attention. And so to look at them. So let's give an example. Let's say you're struggling with extreme loneliness. Rather than resist that, ask what loneliness is here to teach you. Not be afraid of it. Or if you're struggling with frustration, ask what the frustration is here to teach you. So you're embracing it. You're becoming friends with it. It's not the enemy. It's not a foe. It's actually a really wonderful teacher. So I would invite you to kind of add that one in your little toolbox, to think about that when life shows up, or just even a small little hiccup in your day. Rather than running from it, ask yourself and ask the event, what is that here for? What is it trying to teach me today? What can I learn from this experience? And then breathe into it. Breathe into it so that you can welcome it and say, hello, hi. I see that you're here today. I see that frustration is here today. What is it that you're here to teach me? What is it that I need to learn about myself today? So then you are free with it. You're not adversarial. You can sit with it and actually, you don't have to invite it to move in, but you can certainly invite it in and have a cup of tea with that part of your day and acknowledge it, and then you're able to move it on down the line in a much less resistant way. So I've learned so many things through many of the teachings that Uncle Nick and actually Uncle Indio blessed me with. I'm going to give you another quick story of Uncle Indio. I had there was a young lady here in San Diego that had requested for Uncle Indio to come. She asked if I would send for him. And he lived in Arizona, so I said, absolutely, I will. I call him. I said, Uncle Indio, please visualize I'm handing you tobacco right now as I'm asking if you would come. This young lady needs to see you. And he did. And she was in a treatment program with a diverse amount of human beings from all different walks of life. And she wanted to talk to Indio. She was a native young girl, and she wanted to talk to Indio about that, how awful this place was because they weren't letting her have her sacred objects. They wouldn't let her have her sage, and she just went on and on and on to complain about those things. And Indio says in his infinite wisdom, well, that's one way you could look at it. But let me share a story with you. And he was wonderful for sharing stories. And his story went on to something like this. He said, a long time ago, during the American Indian movement, I was put in jail because during those days, if 4 Indians were sitting down at a table, it was considered inciting a riot. So I had to go away behind the iron bars. And when I was there, I was in solitary confinement. And I was there and I had 2 pairs of boxers to my name. And he told this young lady, and on some days, even that was too much. which was a beautiful story, right? Because what Indio was really saying is the same thing that Nick was saying, that you have everything you need. You have everything you need. It's not outside yourself. It's not having the sage. It's not having the opportunity to do whatever it is that you think you need to do when you're being confined, because it's in the heart space. So that's another wonderful story, that one of the many that I've had over the 20 years that just continue to reinforce these amazing lessons that I've been so blessed to have in my life. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for, again, listening, and appreciate it. And we'll continue to have these dialogues and this conversation about this therapist experience working in my field, in the places that I've worked, but with the amazing guidance of Uncle Nick and Uncle Indio. So thank you again, and till we meet again, thanks.